Ah, the internet, arguably the greatest invention of our time, but also the thing driving us all to the brink of insanity. But it wasn't always like this. Once upon a time, the internet was like the Wild West. No giant corporations shoving ads down your throat every second. No one tracking your every move. So, how did we get from the old internet to what we have today? Let's rewind a little bit. In the late 1960s, the internet started with a government-funded project named ARPANET. ARPANET allowed scientists to send messages between computers. There were no memes, no cat videos, and no creepy online predators trying to meet up with you via Snapchat. Just people sending information at the speed of a snail. By the 80s, the internet was for loser virgin nerds and hardcore tech geeks.
How much do you think this advanced operating environment is worth? Wait just 1 minute before you answer. Watch as Windows integrates Lotus 123 with Miami Vice.
But by the 90s, the internet began to explode. It was officially cool, and everyone wanted in. There were no algorithms deciding your every move, no corporations buying and selling your data. Just weird fun chaos and some of the worst web design you'll ever see. This is a monstrosity. And then came Web 2.0, where we saw the rise of websites like Google, Facebook, YouTube, and MySpace. These websites were in their infancy. They were fun, they were innocent, and they were brand new. The internet was really exciting. This allowed people to make connections like never before. The world was rapidly changing, and I don't think we were quite ready yet.
Everyone I know is on it. Email,
instant messages. There's no better way to keep in touch.
And that's what led us to today. The mess of the internet we're stuck with now. We've unleashed Frankenstein's monster. With the rise of AI slop, misinformation, and non-stop advertisements, we're stuck in an internet rut. And I think it might get a little bit worse before it gets better. So let's do a deep dive and discover why the internet kinda sucks. The early internet was truly the Wild West, where every individual person could carve out their own personal community, their little space, their little niche. Ooh, maybe not this one. But today, it is a corporate-run hellscape. I remember back in the day, when Pirate Bay still existed, I downloaded what I thought was Transformers: Dark of the Moon. I was a very excited teenage boy, and I could not wait to see this movie. Well, when it finally downloaded and I had it on my computer, I clicked play, and let's just say, what I saw was not Transformers: Dark of the Moon. I saw a lot of things transform, but not in a robot sort of way.
I'm coming.
And I must admit, teenage me was not too upset with this accidental download, and I look back fondly on this memory. After a while, the internet started to change. Mega corporations started to see the potential. It went from the Wild West to a more corporate-owned theme park, where algorithms and companies decide what you see and decide what you can and can't say. Google runs search, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter control the social media landscape. Amazon has a tight grip on e-commerce. The freedoms of the old internet have sort of disappeared. In the era of the old internet, a personal webpage was quirky, fun, and it had a lot of character. Today, it's a raw, soulless, corporate piece of shit. A sanitized echo of its once vibrant, playful identity. The old internet was more about self-expression, but now it's about what's gonna get you glued to the screen and bring in those dollar signs. If something isn't keeping you addicted, the algorithm is going to bury it. Somewhere along the way, the internet started to feel more like a trap, where we all started to feel a little bit more like data points, where we're being sold something. Algorithms are controlling our every move. Do you ever feel like... Do you ever get the feeling that you're not actually in control of what you see online? Maybe one night you decided to look up a pasta recipe, and for some reason, the following week, your feed is filled with ravioli, ASMR, and videos of Italians yelling at things. Well, you're not the only one who feels this way, and that's because you're being tracked. Instead of random companies tracking you across the internet, the biggest companies like Google, Apple, Amazon, TikTok just do it themselves under the warm fuzzy label of first-party tracking. Translation: they collect your data They just don't share it with the little guys anymore. There's no clearer example of the death of internet privacy than the Cambridge Analytica scandal. Cambridge Analytica. That is really hard to say. Cambridge Analytica, a political consulting firm, acquired personal data from up to 87 million Facebook users without their permission. Data was harvested by a seemingly benign personality quiz designed by Alexander Kogan. While the app presented itself as an academic tool, it was anything but this. It collected not only data from the users themselves, but from their friends, exploiting Facebook's then lax data sharing policy. The firm used this vast trove of personal information to build detailed psychological profiles of millions of users. It all started back in 2010, when Facebook rolled out its Open Graph API. This was a tool that let apps peek into your connections, personal likes, and data. These data profiles were then used to micro-target users, especially for political advertisements, most notably during the US presidential election in 2016. This scandal showed how data can be repurposed from something innocent to exploit the user, especially for political gain. Have you been on Facebook recently? That site is like a porta potty after a music festival. That is a disgusting slop of a website, full of misinformation and never-ending crap. The world would be a better place without Facebook. And in the Internet 2.0, algorithms decide what we think, what we feel, and what we see. Back in the day, when you looked up something online, you clicked on it, you looked at it, and you were done, and you didn't have to see it again. But in today's modern internet world, if you look up something even once, it's recommended to you in your search history and your ads on everything you look for months and months and months. Let's say one day you're at home, and you decide that you want to get a LeBron James body pillow. So you type it into Google or Bing or whatever search engine you use, take a look, say, hey, I'll think about it. And then for the next couple of weeks, for the next couple of months, on your Facebook, on your Instagram, on your YouTube ads, you keep seeing that same body pillow over and over and over. You can't escape it. The king is watching your every move. Well, that's how the modern internet works, because you're being tracked. The other day, I was on Instagram and I saw a cool little hat with cactuses on it. So I clicked on it to take a look. Went to the shop page, looked around a little, and decided I didn't want it. Well, I've seen that hat every single day since. Never ending, haunting me every single moment. It's in my dreams now. Instagram knows if they keep on hounding me, I might just be interested, and I might just buy it. You are constantly being bombarded with ads these days. It's a never-ending mess. But that's my point. The ads are following you everywhere. They're tracking your every move. They know what you're thinking, they know what you're feeling, and they know how to get you to spend your money. Everything you've done online basically boils down to data points. You're just a little consumer data point for all these corporations. Facebook, Google have massive amounts of data for you, and they're selling it to advertisers, so they know how to target you and what to sell to you. Every time you have any sort of existential crisis, any sort of emotion, the algorithm will find out. And they will target you. Platforms like TikTok, YouTube, Instagram use AI-driven recommendation systems to decide what you want to see. It keeps you consuming endlessly, looking at videos you never searched for and never really thought of. But here you are, watching, and watching. With the rise of AI, human-based choice is becoming an illusion. AI is shaping what we should see, what we should think, and what we do. And the internet is going to become more and more AI-driven. And a lot of the comments and everything you see are going to become AI. The human magic that drove the early internet is slowly fading away. As the internet evolves, we have to start asking the questions. Are we using AI, or is AI using us? And let's not forget about the most heinous thing that the internet has allowed to happen: cyberstalking and online bullying. Once, anonymity was a digital shield that allowed people to express themselves without fear. But now it works as a veil for those who want to unleash their cruelty under fake names and fake avatars. Back in the day, if you had a bully at school calling you a fat, ugly, stupid ginger prick, at the end of the day, you could just go home and not have to worry about that bully until the next day at school. But in today's modern world, you cannot escape the bullying. The bullying will now follow you home. It's inescapable. Online bullying has gone from silly trolling to full-blown gladiator warfare. Doxing, swatting, mass harassment campaigns, things that used to sound like a sci-fi nightmare are just a regular Tuesday on the internet. At some point, the internet stopped being a place for fun chaos and became a full-blown coliseum, where everyone is trying to throw the next stone. And guess what? The The algorithms love it. According to Pew Research, about 41% of Americans have said they experience some sort of cyberbullying. Imagine you wake up and you go outside for your morning coffee and 41% of your neighbors decide to give you the middle finger. It's insane. Online bullies have every tool at their disposal. They can track your data, they can find out where you live, dox you, threaten you, and harass you. A study by the University of Sunshine Coast revealed that 98% of girls aged 14 to 19 have experienced some form of online bullying, with over 60% of them saying it was because of their appearance. An NCAA pilot study analyzed over 70,000 messages during some of their championship events and found that over 5,000 of them contained abusive messages directed at players, coaches, or officials. Notably, female athletes had a lot more abuse hurled at them than their male counterparts. What once might have been a one-off joke is now a system designed to keep you paranoid. A digital coliseum where every corner there is a new threat. And don't forget the curse of clickbait. Chasing views over quality. Now let's be honest, anyone who's making videos is guilty of clickbait. I've made clickbait. If you made a video, you probably tried clickbait. We're all making clickbait, because sadly, that's just what works. The internet was supposed to be about sharing ideas, where you could find your niche community and groups. But now, it's all about sharing the most exaggerated and extreme views, because they know that you're going to click on it. Every video, every article, everything you see is competing for your attention. They want you to click. They want you to see what they shared. So they're going to post the most ridiculous story or headline to get your attention. Honestly, clickbait isn't just some annoying internet trend. It's how our brains work. So when you see a video titled, "You won't believe what they did," you kind of want to find out, what did they do? Was it extreme? I want to know. You click on the video and you see some bald guy yapping about how his wife didn't do the dishes and he's going to leave her. Very big letdown, but the clickbait worked, he got your attention, and now you finally have the answer to what they did. Even high quality content creators are guilty of this trap because, well, they know it works. YouTube algorithm will bury their content unless they get clicks and views. And clickbait, well, that usually works. So drama, over-the-top exaggeration, and crazy stories are going to work over honest headlines. Even many prestigious news outlets have turned to clickbait because they know it's gonna draw you in. You have to find the line between trying to grab attention and being outrightly deceptive. But the real question is, how do we make honest content entertaining enough to compete? So there you have it. That's what's wrong with the internet these days. We stand at a crossroads of nostalgia and modernity.
The computer's asking me if I want to log on, and it's now telling me to phone up the main press cell computer.
In this digital era, privacy is an afterthought. Truth is optional, and every click is seen as a revenue stream.
If you own a computer, here's how to get the most out of it without buying lots of expensive software.
Early internet was about quirky personal pages and freedom of expression. But now, everything is just seen as a revenue stream.
Hey, Dan, ready for the game? I'm just finishing up here with my new kayaking friends.
Kayaking friends on your computer?
Yeah, I just got America Online.
There's no escaping the internet these days. We rely on it. We need it. It's one of the backbones of modern society. And it's going to change rapidly over the coming years. I just don't know if that change is going to be good or bad. It's going to get really weird. So buckle up, put your seatbelts on, and sit back, because it's going to be a wild ride.
It's called thefacebook.com, and it's like no college directory you've ever seen.
For example, you could take a person and look them up, and you can get a picture of how they'd like to portray themselves.
Cheers to our transformed digital landscape, where the old internet is now just an echo, and we live in a sanitized version of its former self.
This is the homepage of youtube.com. You can see
It looks like Flickr.
it does look like Flickr. I know they've copied it a little bit, like recently viewed videos, and then you have all the tags along the right-hand side here.
I hope it gets better. We're going to see a lot of changes over the coming years. They could be good, they could be bad. I just don't know. But anyways, it's time for me to sign off. I'm going to go find that Transformers DVD. See you later.